I'm delighted to have 21 Pilots with me. Hello, boys.
Hello.
It is lovely to talk to you. Congratulations. We had the launch of Trench today, which is your 5th studio album. This, to me, is a wonderful concept album. It's the carry-on from Blurryface. And that was all about the isolation of personality and personal insecurities. And now we kind of move on to this whole new world where I kind of see Blurryface losing his jurisdiction, and it's almost like a triumph that there's hope here now. Am I right in that estimation?
That is scary how right you are in that, yes.
On the road to this album, you guys did a couple of really clever things. Now, I know from looking at your studio, you're a video game fan.
Yeah.
You've got Star Fox, you've got Mario, you've got Donkey Kong, and going with that, you guys dropped a lot of Easter eggs on the way up to this.
Yeah.
So tell me how creative you got with the whole Easter egg thing.
We got so creative that we don't even want to take credit for it, because then it would lose its punch. I knew I wanted to build this world that, give more of a backstory to this character, and to do so, you kind of had to come up with creative ways to fill our fans in on what it's like to live in Trench and live in Dima. And not, the music videos did their version of that, and the songs are going to do their version of that. And then there was some extracurricular stuff as well to try to paint that picture further.
The song My Blood, there's a wonderful line in there: when everyone you thought you knew deserts your fight, I'll go with you. And that to me is what Trench is all about.
Yeah.
And it's like that beautiful start of a story, the development of the story. A bit like Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel, or American Idiot, to bring it kind of more into perspective.
Cool.
You take that journey and you go, and then at the very end, when we listen to the last track, Leave This City, it starts off with, I'm tired of tending to this fire, and a fire being something that can ignite something or something that can totally wreck or destroy something. And then it just finishes, the final line on the album is, they know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a beautiful transition there.
One of the themes of this record is definitely this feeling of being stuck in a cycle. I think that when it comes to trying to better yourself and to learn more about your insecurities and how they can affect you and stuff, you can find that you start making progress, and then all of a sudden you can have something that sets you back. And if you take that too hard, it's almost like it's hard to get back on track from there. So going into it knowing that you're going to have to start over, you're going to come to a point where I gotta just redo this whole thing. Mm-hmm. If you go into it knowing that that's going to happen, it really helps with the process of learning more about how to better yourself. And so, the narrative of this record is very cyclical. At the end of the record, in the song Leave the City, it's the last song on the record, it does not tell you, I found the answer. It does not tell you this is the place that I was talking about where we're all going to end up and everything's going to be fine. But what it does is it tells you that I've realized that the people that I'm traveling with is what it's all about.
This is you basically saying, as a group of two individuals that have a massive following, the Skeleton Clique. I would actually say at that gig in Brixton Academy that there wasn't a bit of yellow tape left in London. I would actually go as far as to say that they're all there. I have heard it so many times, and from even listening to your tracks, particularly the stuff from the 4th album, 5th album, you have fans. You have the most devoted fans in the world, by the way. They've won awards for that. But you have fans that will come to you and say, your music saved my life.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It is.
That's a big deal. And it has to mean an awful lot to you guys.
It is a very heavy thing to hear. And part of you wants to kind of brush that off because it's so heavy. I don't even want to think about that because that is so heavy. But I think there's a part of what it is that we do that we have to own up to this. We've found ourselves on some sort of stage, for lack of a better term, and we want to own it. We want to know, okay, we have some influence. What are we going to do with it? And to create music that at least gets someone to think, to get them to realize, hey, these questions, what do you think of these big questions? Where are we going? Where we're from? What's the point? Oh, you don't have the answer to these questions? Well, here's a group of people who also don't have the answer to those questions either, but let's figure this out together.
I like that. It's like everyone else is taken, so why don't you just be you?
Yeah.
The energy that you guys have when you vibe off each other, where other people are actually looking at other acts and they're saying, God, we could be like them, or we could be like them, or why don't we be like them? you guys, you just went underground, and there's that theme of isolation again, and you came up with a show, which, by the way, I've seen in Brixton a few weeks back, and I thought it was absolutely phenomenal what you did. From the minute I was in that beautiful venue, I actually thought that I was in the video to Jumpsuit. And I think that when you come out with that show, and we're covering multi-genres here, like we're covering rock, alternative hip-hop, indie, pop, electro-pop, we're covering all these things, and you've made it your own, and it's a very unique sound. And that's something I think that your fans appreciate, that you didn't copy anyone.
Wow.
You made it from scratch.
Yeah, that's an ultimate compliment there. Yeah, I think that when Josh and I first started playing, we didn't know that there were rules. You know, you have to have a certain amount of members. You got to write a certain style.
Rules are there to be broken, though.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time, we weren't even set out to breaking rules either. We just didn't even know that they were there. And we just kind of followed the song. Like, this sounds cool. Let's do that. And that's all we did. And then here we are. We do become slightly more aware. It's only two of us. This style song is right up next to this style song on the record. Like, does that make any sense? And then that's when you have to believe, well, it all comes from the same place, and it's all coming from that same exact place, and that's got to be enough to justify it sitting next to the other.
There has been moments when you've done gigs where you've kind of been insecure and looking at each other, and you'd vibe off Josh, and Josh would vibe off you,
right.
And then you'd do that. But even last night I could see that energy in the room, and it was quite evident through a lot of the numbers, particularly one moment that sticks out for me, and I think it sticks out in everyone, that nobody grows up without having a hidden handshake. And if you watch the video for Nico and the Niners, you do this handshake. Last night, mid-song, you do the handshake.
Yeah.
And it was a special moment. I was watching social media today, and people were putting it up saying, God, they did the handshake.
Yeah.
It was such a big deal, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I have got a handshake. Oh, let's do a handshake. You and Brandon, you already have a handshake. Everyone has a handshake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just seemed like a special moment. And the two of you, that's your first time back since a year off, or working very hard, we'll say, from the last gig in Columbus, right? So you arrived back. This is your first gig. Was it amazing? Did it live up to expectations?
It was incredible. I mean, to go away for a year and come up with this idea and this world and the way that it looks and the color yellow and what it represents and just the aesthetic. You can't help but wonder throughout the process, like, is this going to work? Like, does this even... Man, and you just go back to, well, this is exciting to us, and that's all that we have to go by right now because we've shut everyone else out. There's nothing else to compare it to, and then that show at Brixton Academy was like, it was the moment we realized, at least for this group of people, it worked, it clicked, and those shows
it genuinely did from every transition.
And those shows that we've described in the past where Josh and I feed off of each other to stay afloat and to stay on stage and everything, and stay confident. That was not one of those shows. That show was us purely just absolutely enthralled and spellbound by the crowd.
The Complete Diversion Show, which was what it was called, and it's on the road to the Bandito tour. It's one of those things that it was a complete diversion, and there was an element of hysteria. Like, people were loving this, and what a way to break back onto the market. As a wrap up to all this, some of these song titles, like Heathens, that's almost like an anthem that's a dynamic with your fans. Chlorine, which is on the brand new record, which is brilliant. Go out and buy it today. It's out today. Go out and buy it.
Go get it.
But Trench is like, it has some of those titles on it, like Chlorine. Chlorine is something that can be used to poison someone, or something that can be used to cleanse something.
Yeah.
Which is a brilliant title. Like, Jumpsuit is there. Levitate, I like it. It's like, you raise me up from where I'm at. And you can see the hints of Blurry Face in the videos where the black hands come in on the neck again. And I think that story is one to be told. Are we going to see this evolve even more now in the next year? Are we? We're
going to. You're talking to us, and we have not talked to a lot of people about this record. And you would be surprised how much we're just feeding off of how it's coming off. And I don't know, just talking to you right now, it's energizing me to want to go.
I have that effect on people. I apologize.
Move this story forward, man. No, it's amazing. I can't. I mean, we left it open-ended on purpose because we wanted to, take a second to survey the room. Feel like, is this something we should keep on going? And everything's pointing to yes. And so, there's a lot more to be talked about. Well, I got to say it. Long may you continue the creativity, Josh and Tyler. Long may you continue to fight that great fight of letting people know that it's okay not to be okay. And I wish you the very best of luck on the Bandito tour. Thank you so much, man.